Mental health court, the participant has to, their crime, number one, they have to be charged with a crime. Number two, the crime has to have a nexus to a diagnosable mental illness. For example, say someone is always scaring people on the street and threatening them, and well, then you find out that but for their schizophrenia, they wouldn't be doing this. And so then they would be eligible to be a part of mental health court if they were willing to go through treatment. 9 times out of 10, the people that come here also have a substance abuse disorder. They're addicted to something.
I had a drinking problem and got my 3rd DUI moving to Washington from Colorado. And I knew I had depression and anxiety. I found out about mental health court being an option over jail, and I felt like I might be a good candidate. So I talked to Nat, and he got me in.
So I'm Nat Jacob. I'm a public defender here in Jefferson County. My job is that I'm assigned to represent all clients who are in the behavioral health court here in Jefferson County. So that's a diversion program, and what that means is that when somebody gets arrested and they may display mental health or substance abuse problems or needs, within a few days, in some cases weeks, as those needs are identified and as the prosecutor starts to become aware of those needs, a team of individuals who are dedicated to supporting those within our community that have those needs considers their application to a program called Behavioral Health Court.
In order for somebody to be in mental health court, they have to have stable housing, but most people don't have a job and don't have a way to have stable housing. So at first their stable housing might be the shelter.
Mental health court, they helped me hook up with Safe Harbor, where my counselor is, and Discovery Behavioral Health is where my medical doctor is, where I get my psychiatric meds. It's hard to sort of do that on your own. I've never heard of Safe Harbor, but once you get into mental health court, they help you with that process.
I've seen my daughter go through some tragic moments, mentally, physically, spiritually, and the mental health court has definitely been of benefit to her. And as her father, I appreciate the opportunity for her and others to have an alternative source other than jail time, where the person can reunite with themselves and know that they're not being necessarily punished for a bad decision that they've made, but to recognize the fact and that they have options and tools out there available to help them reprocess their thinking and their spirit and their well-being.
I decided to change the name of mental health court to behavioral health court because there's kind of a known stigma around the term mental health, and I wanted to move away from that term and focus on something that I felt would better represent what we're trying to do. Generally, an individual has been charged with a misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor and sometimes a felony, and they can either be screened in to the behavioral health court pre-conviction or post-conviction. Pre-conviction means that the individual wants to enter mental health court, and the carrot at the end of the stick is that their charges could be either reduced or completely dismissed at the end of the program. With post-conviction, the individual is also screening in and wanting to participate with a behavioral health court, but they've already been convicted of a crime. So it is agreeing to more intensive probation and oversight, and in exchange, often a reduction in a sentence or so that's kind of the carrot at the end of the stick for them. Rather than going through the regular probation process, they are monitored through the behavioral health court.
The behavioral health court team is a group of people, representatives from multiple agencies in the community, law enforcement, both from the county and the city of Port Townsend, have a seat at the table. A representative from our housing services in town, which is called Olympic Community Action Partnership, that's OLICAP for short, is always there, along with somebody from Discovery Behavioral Health, a liaison from both of our local treatment agencies, Safe Harbor and Believe in Recovery, tend to be present at those meetings, as well as the District Court Administrator, Tracy Bick, who does a fantastic job kind of as the master of ceremonies. Prosecutors for both the city of Port Townsend and the state of Washington, represented by the county of Jefferson in this case.
When a person enters into behavioral health court, they are under a contract which indicates that they have to abide by certain obligations that they have in order to complete the program. If there's a violation of that contract, often an individual is brought before the team and a sanction is imposed upon them.
What we want to see is your THC level going down, okay, on each UA. We know it's going to be up for a while, but we want to see it going down continuously. And our goal is to see you have 30 days of zeros on your UA, okay, zero content of THC. And once we hit one UA that's a zero, that's going to start that 30 days, okay? But between now and that time, your UAs have to be consistently going down in content or we will consider it a dirty UA.
And a sanction can be anything from writing a report of some sort or a deep inner reflection. Sometimes we have individuals daily report to our probation staff for a certain length of time, and sometimes it can include jail time and having to spend some time in jail. And often there's components of increased monitoring by Discovery Behavioral Health or their substance abuse treatment providers.
The mental health court in our community is a valuable asset. The people that participate in it have a more of a warmer, safer environment. They're not as threatened as a criminal justice court would be. They have more of a grace period on getting things together. They work with different other outside support, whether that be mental health with the Discovery Behavioral Health, outside self-help programs, which is NA or AA, and then they have counseling. So between all of that put together, there's I believe a higher rate of success and recovery.
I'm involved in the Jefferson Mental Health Court, and prior to that I was a little skeptical on the success of how that program would be. And then once I was assigned to be part of the team on the board, I became less skeptical and I saw successes through the program, and I fully support that program now.
Like today, I'm graduating, and I've graduated a couple of other programs before, and I've graduated with one of two attitudes. One attitude is, I totally got this, I'm never going to use again, can't believe I even did that. And the other attitude was, yes, I'm graduating, I'm going to smoke a bowl tonight. I'm going to get a drink, and thank God that's over. I'm a little scared, and not scared like I'm scared that I'm going to go relapse right away, but just I don't ever want to go back there to that horrible place of being in that cycle of using. It's horrible. So it's scary to think that I have before graduated programs and gone back there. That's the fear I'm talking about. But today is a lot different. I've never had as much support as I do today. I'm not even close. And that's, I think, been the key for me. This mental health court program trips me out because it's really cool that like I've had to deal with my mental health issues being in here, which is awesome. But it's really weird to watch how things go down in here. It's not your normal program. Like you don't get a star. Don't smoke weed again. Instead of oh really? So it's been very pleasant because I feel like there's actually compassion here. So it's been very refreshing to be in here and see all people laughing and compassion for other people and yeah, everybody here has only seen me do good, but I didn't. I was screwing up a lot right before I got in here, so something clicked. But yeah. I guess the point is I don't want to go back out and using it, so I'm going to do my best not to do that.
I've been working at this court now for about 7 months, just over 7 months, and gotten to know you a little bit, and I've seen so much growth in Darcy over the past few months. She's made some really difficult decisions and has made so much progress with her work situation and her living situation, and I'm really, really proud of you.
You know, I've always said this, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of emotional fortitude, and it takes overcoming a lot of fear to be able to be successful in the programs that you go through. Because I have this thing at home that says on the other side of fear is freedom. And that's for all of you, you know, that it is scary to change the way we've been for a long time. So you certainly deserve this. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just give me a call.
I really wanted to thank Judge Landis for being here. They're here, my mom's here, and she's always had my back for good times and bad, and I've put her through a lot. But I hope I can make it up to you and continue to be a strong, healthy person. I have to love you. And Nat, thank you for always being there. I know you're busy, you know a lot of people, but you've always been there for me without any judgment.
You're a real inspiration to me, and I'm so glad that you're a member of our community and that you're doing the type of advocacy that Patrick mentioned, because of that strength, you're a true asset to not just the behavioral health community, but also the community at large. So thank you.
It was kind of hard making the decision on you because you were struggling a lot, and you've probably dealt with more when you were in, once you did get in. There's a lot of things that we all know that kind of on the team that you got through and you survived, and I agree with that. It would have been far easier for you to just call it quits and bail out. And instead you did the hard work and you got yourself here today. Congratulations. Somewhere along the line it's gotten stolen, but I've signed the, so I'm going to make a motion to dismiss. The court will sign off on it, and your case is done at this point. So congratulations.